So welcome back to the Block Academy Music. My name is Adam, and I want to share a few more ideas about blues phrasing and about how to approach the blues. And hopefully I'll help you learn something that will expand your playing and benefit your own ideas. So basically I think it's pretty common for most guitar players to approach the blues using the minor pentatonic scale. It's a very powerful scale. It's present all in the blues, and it's a great scale, and there's good reason for it. But it's nice to add some other ideas from other places outside of the minor pentatonic to augment your playing and to just expand your knowledge and give you some ideas about different ways of being creative. So I want to share a few of those ideas. There's going to be two concepts I'm going to introduce. The first concept is using three different scales, one for each chord in the blues. So the basic blues progression is a 1, 4, and 5. So you're going to use three different scales that will apply to each of those chords so that you can get different sounds at different times in the song. It's not all going to be minor pentatonic. And the second concept I'm going to introduce is going to help you practice the first concept. And that is, I'm going to give you one riff, one blues riff that is a very classic riff that you can move and play in such a way that it satisfies the first concept. So let's start on the first concept, and you'll see what I mean when I take you through the second. So the first concept, we're going to be working in the key of C, and we're going to start on the C chord, of course. That's the first chord, right? And so what we're going to say is we're going to use the C major pentatonic over the 1 chord, right? So that's going to sound like this. These kinds of things. So after that, when you get to the 4 chord, you're not going to use that scale anymore. You're going to change it to the C minor pentatonic. And so when you play F7, which is the 4 chord, you'll use this scale. So that's your C minor pentatonic. And then when you get to the 5 chord, which is G7, right, you might go back to using the C major pentatonic again. There are other scales you could use over the 5 chord to really exploit that chord. You could use the 5 mixolydian. So the 5 chord's G7, and G mixolydian is the scale you would use over that. And that's a great alternative. So I'll show you that just so in case you're interested. So the G mixolydian, okay. So the thing is that these scales are very useful. They're going to change the tonality, but you want to have a good sense of how to phrase within the blues. You want to have a good sense of rhythm and a good sense of timing. And those things require study and experience, and it requires you to really listen to the accomplished players, your heroes, and see how they're phrasing, and see what they do at certain times in the progression. Generally, everybody's playing to the chord. You know, the people that we really like, Robin Ford, Stevie Ray Vaughan, B.B. King, they're playing to the chord. And that means that they're choosing specific notes at specific times to relate to the chord that they're on. And those notes might come from scale ideas or riff ideas or whatever, but it is related to the chord. So if you start thinking about what scales can you use over what chords, that'll really help expand your concept. And this is one way to do it. So let's talk about the second idea that I was referring to. So I'm going to show you this real classic blues riff. It's used in many songs. You'll probably recognize it if you're a fan of the blues. And then I'll show you how to move it so that it's in the first instance it's going to satisfy the major pentatonic. It'll sound major. And in the second instance, it'll satisfy the minor pentatonic. It'll sound minor. And so without further ado, here's the riff. So in the key of C, right? Really common. So that's related to the C major chord, and it's also coming from the C major pentatonic. Okay, so that's that. So you'll use that lick in that location over the 1 chord, right? So when the 4 chord comes along, you want to use the minor version of this lick. And so what you're going to do is you're going to move it from 8 to 13, right? And so it's going to sound like this. Here's the 4 chord. So what that does is it shifts the lick and it puts you into the C minor pentatonic scale at the same time. You just have to study that and figure out what that means. So here's the C minor pentatonic scale. Here's the lick. If I land on that note, it's going to really emphasize the C minor pentatonic. You don't have to, but it will help you to really make that minor tonality be heard. So I'm on the 4. So really common other lick for the C minor pentatonic is the famous Albert King bend. Something like that. You can use this new lick and play it before the Albert King bend or whatever. You'll start to see what I mean if you practice that lick. So again, the minor version is going to start on the 13th fret. And you're going to play that over the 4. And then when you get to the 5, what I'll do is I'll just go up to the G chord. Oh, that was it. I'll go up to G. Right? Or you can do it down here. You can use that there. You can also use it again over the 4 chord. You just move down with the chord. Or you can do the minor tonality 4 chord version of the riff. And then 1. So what I'm going to do is I'll do a little demonstration and hopefully play something interesting and related to these riffs, and see if you can hear them, see if you can hear the chord change and how I adapt the chord change using those riffs, and maybe we'll both learn something. So there's some ideas in there, hopefully, that will inspire you and give you a concept to develop yourself. There's so many blues players out there. There's so much to learn. There's so many ways to approach it and to analyze it. I hope that will give you a little insight into something new for you. If you have any questions about it and you'd want to contact me, you can feel free to do that. My website is www.blockacademymusic.com. and the email is info@blockacademymusic.com. I'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this video and you found it helpful, please subscribe. Please press like, and you'll be notified when I have some more information coming at you regarding the blues and other guitar styles as well. So listen, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy. Take care.